Hey everybody, it's Rabbit, and I was chatting with one of my girlfriends earlier today during my lunch break about how since moving to Colorado, I have had some of the strangest come-ons issued to me out of all the places that I have lived. Keep in mind that I'm the type of personality that I actually don't get hit on by guys that often. I don't know if it's because I have a very spirited and quirky nature about me. So the way that I act in my YouTube videos, that's how I act in real life. So I'm very energetic, I'm very lively, I'm very happy for the most part, and I really am not that worried about social norms and like social awkwardness. Like I just try to have a good time. I try to be a nice person and treat others the way that I want to be treated. And if someone is uncomfortable or if they think that I just have too much energy, you know, I don't worry about it. I try not to be that way around them, and then I continue on with my business. So my husband and I talked about this before, and we've reached the conclusion that because I am very whimsical and I am very strange, a lot of guys don't hit on me. It's not that I think some of them don't find me interesting or cute possibly, but I think I don't have the personality that a lot of 20-something-year-olds are looking for in a girl. And plus, I'm married, so I have this rock on my finger, so hopefully that would also deter people from macking on me. But for whatever reason, within the last couple of months, I have had some of the strangest encounters with men, you guys. Men who either don't care that I'm wearing a wedding set or they just don't see it because they've got their eyes on the prize. I don't know, but when I was talking to my girlfriend about this earlier today, I was just like, I have to share some of these stories with you because I've got to know, do these things happen to you? Like, I'm sure some of you that, you go maybe to clubs a lot, or you yourselves just emanate some sort of sensuality or beauty. Maybe guys hit on you a lot, but for those of you that would consider yourself kind of more in my camp where people might just be like, oh, whatever, she's just like a little girl, like, because I still get often mistaken for being like 16 or 15 because I am so petite. For those of you that are also in that camp with me, I have to know if you have similar conversations with people like what I'm about to describe to you. All right, ladies, so picture this. About 2 weeks ago, I went to this little downtown area that's very near where we live. So I guess to kind of like paint this picture for you a little bit more, the block that my husband and I live on is pretty calm and it's not really got a lot of traffic going through it, but right next to us there is it's like a Catholic school as well as like I don't even know how to describe it. It is an actual church, but it's not an elementary school. It's just a Catholic school, I guess. That's the succinct way of putting it. But on the other side of this Catholic school, on this whole block, there is our entire like Old Town or downtown area. Everyone calls it Old Town, Fort Collins. And it's just got a nice variety of venues there. So there's a lot of stuff for shopping needs. There's a lot of stuff to meet your nom needs. So if you really like to eat, there are a lot of local restaurants that are delicious. There's also lots of little like snack shops. So Cupcake Factory. There's like a cheese tasting place. There's a place for spices and imports. It's crazy. And it's got a lot of diverse things to offer to a variety of people who have a variety of tastes. The day that I specifically wanted to go there, I was planning on going by myself because I had the day off. It was so beautiful outside. And I told myself, you know what? I stay indoors playing video games too much when I have a day off. I need to go outside. I need to get some fresh air. It is beautiful. I need to grab one of my books and just go sit at a table somewhere, drink some coffee, and maybe socialize a little bit. If ever there was something that is going to in the future dissuade me from choosing to do this again, it will be the conversation I am about to share with you. So I walked to this little coffee shop, I grabbed my drink, and I'm not even a big coffee drinker, mind you. So all of this was me trying to kind of change up my routine and have a different day off compared to what I typically do. So I grab my drink, I have my book in one arm, and I go outside, and there are just like a couple of little tables and little chairs, and there was nobody else there, but even if there had been a couple other people there, I don't think that would have changed what happened whatsoever. I'm sitting there, minding my own business, reading my book, and I guess I should also point out that when I read, I guess I get maybe a little too sucked into what I'm reading, so it could be that this person was trying to get my attention in a less aggressive way, but I just wasn't minding what he was doing or the signals that he was sending. I really don't know. But while I'm in the middle of reading this book, my face is like probably this close to the actual pages because I'm just like leaning over creepily, like occasionally grabbing my drink and taking swigs of it. All of a sudden, somebody sits right in front of me at this little table that I'm at. And keep in mind, there were a lot of other little tables and a lot of other chairs. So it wasn't like it was completely full and someone like had an armful of stuff and then they had just gotten coffee and wanted to sit outside. Because obviously that wouldn't bother me. I don't care. But all of a sudden, my concentration and focus is interrupted by the sound of someone plopping down right in front of me. It rattles the whole table. And being my odd self, I just kind of like look up awkwardly, probably with a really weird expression on my face that would scare away most people, but not this guy. What I see sitting in front of me, you guys, is a man in his 60s. And I just want to throw out the disclaimer that age doesn't bother me in terms of guys that have hit on me in the past. I honestly would turn down a 60-year-old the same way that I would turn down a 20-year-old. The age doesn't matter. I try to view everyone as just being a person, and I try to think of other ways of judging someone outside of things that I think are really easy and common ways of immediately forming an opinion. So I like to listen to people, I like to talk to people, and oh my goodness, the sun just like disappeared, you guys. I hope you can still see me. So yeah, I just say all of that to say that his age isn't at all what bothered me. Well, first of all, I'm married and I have this ring on every day that I leave the house. So obviously I'm not interested, but let's pretend I was single and just hear this story. This 60-year-old man, he is so close to my face because I was leaning over the table. So I would say our faces, with the table being like this size, we were maybe like this far apart from each other, if you can see that, because of how far I was leaning over the table looking at my book. And instead of me sitting back, all I did was lift my face up. So I'm really, really close to this 60-year-old man. And so I didn't really know what to say. It was very clear that he was interested in talking to me. And in my mind, I don't immediately make the assumption that someone is hitting on me, which my husband has pointed out to me as probably why I've gotten into some really uncomfortable situations with people in the past, because I don't automatically think, oh my gosh, this guy is macking on me. I need to make it very clear that I don't want to talk to him, because that's just not me. I'll talk to pretty much anybody. This guy does not waste any time in getting to the point of why he sat down so closely to my face and to me. He starts going on about how he saw me from across the street exiting this coffee shop, and he thought to himself, oh, there truly must be a God, because I just saw my first I'm sorry. I'm trying not to laugh and interrupt the story. Serious, Rabbit. He says to me, I just saw an angel for the first time. And I could not believe what I was hearing, that he was being serious, because that's the kind of line you would expect like a 16-year-old or a guy in his early 20s to maybe use jokingly on someone to either break the ice or because they're just trolling them. I mean, I would never think someone would seriously say that, especially a man of his years who you would think would be beyond that in terms of his swag factor. I don't know what possessed him to say this crap to me. But it was clear that I didn't really know how to respond, so he kind of just continued. I don't know if he thought that my look of confusion and slight embarrassment for him, I don't know if he mistook that for me possibly being interested, but he just continued going on about how I was just this magnificent creature and he had to know my name, he had to know who I was. And then this is where it got even weirder, if you can believe it. He starts making some really uncomfortable and borderline racist remarks about how the first thing that he thought when he got this close to me was that this must have been what it was like for some of the people who colonized the New World when they saw such lovely exotic women that were unlike anything they'd ever seen before. And he went on talking about how, oh, I can absolutely understand why they would have just been so smitten with these exotic, beautiful women. You don't look like anything I've ever seen before. Where did you come from? You are like an exotic goddess. And he just was drolling on and on and on, making some somewhat slave references about capturing and transporting people. It was the freaking weirdest conversation I've ever had, especially revolving around someone trying to be hitting on you. Guys, I don't even remember all of the verbiage that he was just spewing at me, but let me just say, if this was not enough to convince you that it was ridiculous, then I don't know what else I could even share with you to get my point across. But this guy was a freaking nut job. There's really not a good way of ending the story and kind of ejecting myself from that conversation. So I'm pretty sure in a very confused and awkward way, I just kind of closed my book, grabbed what was left of my drink, and I thought I said it politely, at least more politely than I felt on the inside, because I was kind of offended by some of the crap that he was saying, and then at the same time I was really uncomfortable by how he was approaching me, and I felt like he was likening me to like a doll or a piece of meat, and he never actually waited for me to give him my name. So it wasn't even a conversation, it was just complete dribble. So I grabbed my crap and I just kind of say, probably in like really broken grammar, because I couldn't even think straight. I was just like, oh, okay, well, thank you. It was nice to meet you. I'm married, ha ha ha, I gotta go. And then I got up and I made a beeline for my house. And then I went back to playing video games and I decided, you know what? Lesson learned. I'm gonna stay indoors from now on instead of going outside. Of course, I'm kidding. That is absolutely not gonna deter me from really going and exploring our downtown area by myself. But I do want to throw out there that that is not even the only time that I've had really weird conversations with guys in terms of them hitting on me. But I don't want this video to go on for too long, so I think I'm just gonna leave it at that and let you guys let that marinate in your minds for a little bit, the weirdness that took place that day. You know what's even worse, you guys? When I told my husband that story, he thought it was freaking hilarious, and I was mortified. I just was like, Andrew, how dare you find this funny? This was a horrible experience for me. I never want to go back outside. So yeah, that's it from me, everyone. I just wanted to make kind of a fun video and chat with you all casually and share this story. If you are interested in hearing some of the other really strange pickup lines or pickup stories, I guess, I will absolutely make some more of these, because I can think right now about 3 more that I've had happen since moving here to Colorado that, in my opinion, are very unique and are on a whole different level from the things that I had said to me when I was living in Arkansas or Kansas. But yeah, just so I don't make this any longer than it already is, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off with you guys. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Stay safe and away from those creepers. Hopefully you don't encounter any like I recently have been. And I will try to be in touch with you guys soon. So I'll talk to you later, everyone. Bye!